Hey guys, Sean from Team Brush out here, and today we're coming with one of our oldest members. You are the oldest.
Yes.
Member is deck profile, and it is Dragons. Take it away.
Alright, I started the new Blue Eyes deck. I've made a few modifications since I've gotten it, but here goes. Starting off, first and foremost, of course, 3 Blue Eyes. Darkness Metal Dragons, the legendary engine of destruction.
I wish you told me where you put in the cards. I was focused over here.
Sorry. Plus, I've got 3 White Stones. I've got these because when they go to the graveyard, they bring a Blue Eyes to my hand. Comes in very handy. Plus, they're good for defense. Next up is 3 Maidens with Eyes of Blue.
Still think that sounds like an awkward name.
Yeah, but it comes in handy. If they're attacked, they automatically go into defense, and I can special summon a Blue Eyes from my hand,
Yes.
or graveyard, or from my deck,
Yes.
which comes in very handy. Next up, I have 2 Heretic Dragon Tefnuts. They're like cyber dragons, but they're actual dragons. If my opponent has a monster on the field and I don't, I can special summon them.
Nice.
Next up, I have 2 Interplanetary Purpley Thorny Dragons. Blech. I just call them purple dragons myself.
Oh! I just found out something cool. I can turn 3D on when I'm videotaping.
I like the purple dragons because if I have one in my hand and my opponent kills a monster, I can special summon it to the field. And at 2200, it's a respectable beat stick.
Yeah.
Next up, I have 2 Red Eyes Wyverns. They're 1800. They're 1800, so they're moderately strong, but I have them for their effect from the graveyard, and you'll see why later. Next up, I have 2 Draggards. To me, I think they look like baby dark Blue Eyes. They're dark monsters. They can, they're not very strong on attack, but they have 1900 defense, which is pretty good. Plus, they have a moderately okay effect.
They kind of look like Blue Eyes mixed with Batman.
Next, I have 2 Alexandrite Dragons.
Yeah.
At 4 stars, they're an easy normal summon, but at 2000 attack, that's respectable.
Yeah.
Next, I have one of my favorites, the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. I like him because of his effect of getting rid of overlay units for Xyz monsters. Next, my Darkstorm Dragon. I normally have that in my side deck, but I'm running it in my regular deck for now because I have run across a lot of opponents that are using their back rower. And Darkstorm Dragon is like a walking Heavy Storm, which comes in really handy now that Heavy Storm has been banned.
Yes.
Next up, I have 2 of the Dragon Rulers. I have Tidal and Blaster. They're 2 of the strongest Dragon Rulers. I like them because they're easy to summon because you just got to discard 2 dragons from the graveyard, and you got them on the field.
Nice. Are any of your dragons Earth?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Here's one. Exploder Dragon. He's Earth.
Okay, well, you won't know to discard him.
I like him because he's like a man-eater bug for dragons.
Only he has to attack.
However, unlike Man-Eater Bug, he can only destroy the monster that attacked it.
Yeah.
Next, I have Dragoonity Partisan.
How many monsters do you run in this game?
Well, my total main deck is 55 cards. It's a little thick, but it does spin itself to a certain extent. Next up, I have Dragoonity Partisan. I run it as a 2-star tuner. It's come in handy a few times. Next up is a card that's not a dragon, one of the few dragons I run. One of the few non-dragons I run, I should say. And the reason I run him is because way too many times I've had opponents use him on me.
Lava Golem!
Lava Golem!
As soon as you said that, I knew who it was.
With him, I can get rid of 2 monsters on my opponent's side of the field. Plus, the longer he has Golem, the more damage he does to himself.
And he also gets rid of my Armor Master.
Plus, he's at 3,000. I can kamikaze my Blue Eyes if I have a way of bringing Blue Eyes back, which there are plenty of ways to bring them back in this game.
Yes.
one of my favorite cards, actually my absolute favorite dragon of all time, the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. No dragon deck is complete without him.
Well,
I
that's
hate the fact
interesting.
that he's been banned, but he's been limited to one, but I like him because he's easy to summon, and he can bring back he can special summon any dragon once per turn from either the graveyard or from my hand.
Yeah.
Next is Debris Dragon. It's a 4-star dragon tuner. Somewhat limited on how I'm using him because he can't tune with another 4-star dragon or any 4-star monster for that matter. But at 2,000 defense, he does have his uses as well. As being a tuner.
What targets do you have for him in the deck? What could he actually bring out?
That's kind of
No, I mean the monster lineup. What could he actually bring out from the grave?
he doesn't bring anything from the grave.
Oh yeah, you don't use him for that.
Right.
Okay. I was gonna say I didn't think any of your monsters.
That's it for my monsters in my main deck.
Okay.
Next up are my spells, and I'll start with basically my staples. Ancient Rules, very handy with Blue Eyes deck because it lets me special summon a level 5 or higher normal monster from my hand without tributing.
It took us forever to convince him to use that.
Next up is I run 2 MSTs. Of course, everyone knows why. That's what they're there for.
Staple, self-explanatory.
Dragon Shrine, new to the set.
At this point, it's probably not new.
Well, yeah, but it came with the new Blue Eyes build.
Yeah.
He's handy because he lets me dump monsters into my grave, and if I dump a normal dragon in first, I can then dump a white stone in after it. It brings the Blue Eyes to my hand.
Yes.
Next up, I run 3. Count them, 1, 2, 3 Silver's Cries, because they let me bring a Blue Eyes back from the grave.
Call Haunted for Blue Eyes.
Exactly. Now I have 2 Dragon Shields.
Yes. Protect those dragons.
I most often try to attach one of those to my Red Eyes Darkness Metal, because that's always the one my opponents want to get rid of first, if I have them on the field.
Well, you'd want to get rid of a monster that you can keep bringing stuff back.
Okay, because it negate any battles that involve where the monster that's got this equipped, no damage, but it still gets rid of my opponent's monsters.
Yeah.
Next up, Gold Sarcophagus.
Nice.
Since Future Fusion has been banned, I most often use Gold Sarcophagus to get my Red Eyes Darkness Metal.
Yeah.
Next is 1 for 1. I said 1 monster.
White Stone Legends of 1, okay. I'm like, wait, what can you get?
Yeah,
Okay.
White Stone Legends and Maidens of Blue Eyes and Blue.
Oh yeah, that's also a level 1.
Next up, I have a trade-in. Too many times I've had a handful of Blue Eyes and nothing I can summon. So that's helped me get, by discarding 1 Blue Eyes, I can draw 2 cards.
I've had to watch that. It's painful.
Next, I have Lightning Vortex. Again, another staple. It comes in handy when my opponent's field is flooded with monsters and I have nothing.
Also, I was just discard a Blue Eyes, and then you could still cry it back.
That's true. Next up, Dragon's Mirror.
Oh no.
Lets me discard monsters from my grave or from the field, banishing them to bring out a fusion. And you'll see the fusions that I use in a little bit. Now onto my traps. I run 2 Fiendish Chains.
Chains.
My opponents hate those because it stops their effects.
Yeah.
And they also can't change the battle positions of their monsters.
This again. It doesn't stop changing battle
thought it
positions.
did.
No.
Oh,
They can't
alright.
attack.
Right.
You can't attack and then gets effects.
Can't attack and it gets effects.
They can still change battle position.
Plus, 2 Calls of the Haunted. More
You
ways to-
effectively have 5 Call the Haunted in there.
Yeah.
3 for Blue Eyes.
Basically lets me keep bringing back dragons.
Yeah.
Next up is a staple everyone uses, Mirror Force.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite traps because it helps me blow up my opponent's field. Next, Magic Cylinder. Again, another staple, and again, I love its effect. It throws my opponent's attack right at their life points.
Yeah. I used to use that for a while.
I only run I'm only running 1 Torrential Tribute now. I was running 2, but my hand was getting too kludgy with too many cards.
Torrential's at 1 anyways.
Oh, it is. Since when?
Since, I think 2 ban lists ago.
Oh, jeez.
Or the last ban list. No, 2 ban lists ago. Because now we're on the whole...
Because before that I was running 2. Next is Compulsory Evacuation Device. That comes in handy, especially when my opponent's special summon a monster.
Also at 1.
Next, Solemn Warning.
Also at 1.
Yes.
Oh, did you do that on purpose, all the one-ofs in the same plot?
No, but this helps because, especially since they banned Solemn Judgment. I'm irritated by that. Breakthrough Skill.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, as I was saying, Breakthrough Skill. I actually once used this to get rid of somebody's Neospatian Grand Mole. Made them cry.
Yeah. I remember Mark, we had a Grand Mole battle. If one of us didn't Grand Mole, the other one would.
I hate Grand Mole, and I love this card because it helps me get rid of it.
Yeah.
Dragon Carnation. More than once in the past, my opponents have banished my Red Eyes Darkness Battle.
Yeah.
This lets me bring it back to my hand.
Nice.
And from the hand, it's easy to summon again.
Yes.
Next, I have Champion's Vigilance. Since I'm running a lot of high-end Dragon Beat Sticks, this comes in handy because it lets me negate spells or activate or summonings that could cause me trouble.
Yeah.
And that's it for my traps and spells. Next up is my extra deck. This came with the new Blue Eyes build, the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Synchro, basically it's a Blue Eyes Maiden and a Blue Eyes. I like it because after you Synchro Summon it, you can use it to bring back the Blue Eyes.
Yes. That's annoying.
I was running 2. I'm down to 1 because my extra deck is maxed out. Next up is a card that I took a long time for me to get, Star Eater.
Yeah.
Basically, it's another card that if I get it out, my opponent tends to cry. I like its effects. It's just killer. Next up is Exploder Dragonwing. I run him because I like his effect. It lets me just blow up my opponent's monsters, plus it dishes out damage. Next are my 2 fusions, and in my opinion, 2 of the best fusion monsters of all time. The 5-headed dragon. The only thing that can kill it is a light monster. Plus, it's a 5,000 attack, 5,000 defense beat stick.
So Copycat can destroy it. Copycat copies it, and it's a light monster.
Oh.
And then it can get destroyed by a level 1 monster.
Anyway, next, what's a Blue Eyes deck without Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon?
Yes.
I like him because he's almost as powerful as the 5-headed, but unlike 5-headed, if he gets sent to the grave, my Red Eyes Darkness Battle can bring him back.
Yes.
Next up, my Seas monsters, and I'll start with Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. I like him because, again, the few times that I managed to get him out, my opponent most of the time has decided to quit.
Yeah.
Because his effects basically, it's not, if Galaxy Eyes is one of those dragons that I use to summon it,
Yeah.
basically it negates everything else in the field. Plus, it's a 4,500 beat stick. So it's basically the Blue Eyes Ultimate for Galaxy Eyes.
Yeah.
Next I have, it's a new card, I'm not entirely familiar with it yet, the Dragluon, number 46. It's a 3,000 beat stick, and from what I can see, it's got some pretty interesting effects. It special summons a dragon monster. It can either special summon one dragon monster from my hand, target one dragon monster my opponent controls and take control of that target, or dragon monsters that my opponent controls cannot activate their effects until the end of my opponent's turn.
I wonder if we're ever going to get the episode that comes out on in the anime. No, because I know what episode that is. I don't know if we're going to get it.
Oh, that sucks. They always leave out the best stuff, don't they, when the Americans...
No, the reason is because they're getting fairly close to the new series coming out, and we're still quite a few episodes before it.
Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis. I've got him because he's a 3,000 beat stick. Plus, I can detach once per turn. I can detach an XYZ material from it. Tribute any non-burn monsters from my hand or side of the field with a minimum of 1 that I have to do. I have to do at least 1, and destroy an equal number of cards on my field. If I get that out and my opponent has a field full, I can theoretically blow up their entire field.
Yes.
Next up is another new card of mine that I don't know all the abilities of yet. Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand.
That's like a very good card.
Plus, I got the ultimate version. And once per turn, during either opponent's turn, I can detach a material from the card, Target a face-up monster on the field, and this turn its effects are negated but it is unaffected by other card effects.
Nice.
Next is Thunder End Dragon. This card has saved my neck more than once.
Took you a while to get it too.
Yeah, because certain people kept teasing me with, I've got Thunder End, I've got Thunder End, I've got
Both
Thunder
me
End.
and Sean did.
But 2 level 8 normal monsters. For a while when I was running 2, I was running with my 3 Blue Eyes and a 3-horn dragon.
Yeah.
Tri-horn, whichever it's called.
I don't remember now.
But anyway, now that I'm only running 1, my Tri-horn has been retired back to my binder or my collection.
We went back to the Land Before Time. Wait a minute, that's dinosaurs.
Anyway, I like this card because with it, I can detach a material, blow up the field, leaving only him. And at 3,000, a direct attack that can sometimes be a game ender.
Yeah.
Next up is Queen Dragon Jin. Rank 4. I like her effect. If I run I'm not running Golem Dragons in this deck, but I may add them to my side because with her on the field and a Golem Dragon in defense, that's a lockdown.
Yes.
Because Golem Dragon makes it so that what is it? That only it can be attacked.
Yeah, I think it makes it so it can only be attacked.
Right, but Queen Dragon Jin makes it so that all dragons except her are indestructible.
So basically, it's a kind of anti-Marauding Captain Lock.
Right. Next up is Kachikochi Dragon. Basically, looks like a Crystal Godzilla, but
Yeah, it does.
it's a rank 4, so it's relatively easy to get out. Plus, it's 21 at 2100 attack. It's not bad, but its effect is cool. If it attacks and destroys a monster, I can detach a material to allow it to attack again.
Yes.
Next up is a borrowed card. Number 50, Black Ship of Corn.
Where'd you borrow that from?
I believe I borrowed it from Sean Maloney.
Oh, okay.
But it's a handy card. He said that I needed to run this because of how useful it is. I'm not completely familiar with it yet.
You get your own Zen mains because it doesn't destroy
Right.
its Zens.
So I may, I'll probably be using it from time to time. Next up is again one of the few non-dragon monsters that I use. The staple, number 39, Utopia.
So you consider Black Ship of Corn a dragon?
No, it's what.
Because you said that to every card.
It's a borrowed card. It's a borrowed card, so it doesn't technically kind of count. Anyway, number 39, Utopia. And he's 2,500. He's decent. Plus, he's got a decent effect of negating attacks.
Yeah.
Next up is my Stardust.
Stardust.
I like his effect because it can save my other cards.
Yeah.
Okay, next is my side deck. I run a playset of Luminous Dragon Ritual with my playset of Paladin of Photon Dragon.
I feel the need to point out that he does not play competitively normally. So this is why you're probably seeing some weird things that probably shouldn't be in here.
Well, like I said, this is a side deck anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not normally played. Again, these are new to me, but being a dragon collector, I wanted them anyway. And they may be fun to play, in free dueling from time to time.
You might never actually outget Mark's dragons. He's got like over 300 different dragons.
Yeah. However, I'm gonna have fun trying. Next
Well,
up.
it's hard. It's easy now that he stopped collecting them.
Next up, Book of Moon. Again, another staple. Just comes in. Plus, when I think about it, it just kind of makes me laugh. Mooning my opponent.
There's an image. I know an image I wanted. Oh, great. Great. I
Next
closed
up.
my eyes and I see it. Stop blinking.
Next up is another dragon that I really like, Whitehorn Dragon.
Yep.
I like his effect of he only takes 1 tribute, but I like his effect that he can banish up to 5 spells from my opponent's graveyard to increase his strength.
Okay.
Hang on just a minute. I got a phone call.
Sorry about that. He had a very important phone call.
I had a phone call.
Okay,
I'm a
continue.
busy guy. Next up, I have another one of the Dragon Rulers, Tempest. I have him in my side deck. I didn't want to my main deck being 55 cards already. I had to take a couple of things out, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
But like the other Dragon Rulers, real easy to summon, and That's why you see my side deck now.
Nice.
Next is Iron Chain Dragon. At level 6, it's a relatively easy synchro to get out. Plus, at 2,500, he's decent.
Yeah.
Next is my second Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. You know, like I said, I was running 2, but I did have to thin out my my extra deck, so. But it's there in case I do need it. Next are 2 cards that I've I've recently acquired, and which appear to be brilliant. The number 107 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. It's rank 8, so 2 level 8 monsters, plus some really badass effects. Next up is number 57, Tri-Head Dust Dragon. Again, it's another dragon. I'm a dragon guy. Defense at 2,600 is decent.
Yeah.
Plus, its effects allow its attack of 100 to increase.
Yeah.
And that is my dragon deck.
So that was the decks. Of course, as I start talking, they yell. Whatever. That was the deck, and apparently we have some haters over there. I lost my train of thought now. Whatever. Okay, so for the third time, that was the deck. If you liked it, like, comment, subscribe. I think actually all of our subscribers are either us or someone associated with us. So we need the subscribers to help. Okay, so till next time. Bye.